Hey everyone! Today we're diving into the Repo Beta gameplay, a game that's already a blast with friends, but definitely has some room for quality of life improvements, especially when it comes to co-op. So let's talk shop. Literally. Let's start with the shop stage. It's got that roguelike flavor, random upgrades, random weapons, and that's a fun idea. But where it really starts to fall apart, especially in co-op, is how the income system works. Right now, all the money goes into one big pool. That sounds cooperative, right? But in practice, it creates some awkward moments. Say you've been downed half the level, you barely contributed, and now you're eyeing that health pack the team just barely has enough money for. You start thinking, do I deserve this? They fought hard. I was dead most of the game. And that's the problem. Shared income forces players to self-police, to feel guilt, like, who am I to use the team's earnings to patch myself up? It kills the fun and puts unnecessary pressure on people who are already struggling. So why not make it simple? Individual income. You earn what you collect, you spend what you earned, or at least divide the total evenly among players. Either way, it removes the guilt and makes progression feel personal and fair. And if you still want team synergy, easy fix. Add a donate button. Let players help each other by choice, not obligation. And while we're at it, let upgrades have the option to be shared, like what the shared upgrade mod already does. It makes co-op feel way more connected without punishing teamwork. Right now, there are so many cool upgrades and tools we know exist, but in co-op, we rarely get to try them. Either the RNG doesn't roll in our favor, or we're forced to prioritize something else just to survive. Honestly, this entire system could thrive as a separate roguelike-style game mode, where you get offered of certain numbers of upgrades and/or weapons to choose every shop stage like your average roguelike survival games, one with structured progression, persistent unlocks, and a real sense of experimentation across runs. The potential is there. We just need the game to give us the room to explore it. In the end, it's not about making things easier. It's about making them feel fair and fun. Individual income and better upgrade sharing would let every player contribute, learn, and experiment without stepping on each other's toes. Now, let's talk about the game stage, especially the late game extractions. If the whole squad dies once, even before completing a single extraction, you're basically done for. And reviving with one health point? That's just brutal. So here's the fix. Add armor plates or a service station where you can craft or restore health, just like in modern battle royales. Or at the very least, make the extraction revival or completion give more HP, for example, 25 HP instead, and maybe set the completion of level to give 50, so it's not a death sentence from you dying once. This would keep the pressure high without making it feel unfair. And finally, let's talk about valuables. There's a tension between greed and survival, and I love that. But sometimes, breaking a few key objects without the right tools means it's straight up game over. How about this? Let valuables respawn after a while, or add more of them later in the level, and maybe unlock this feature after level 5, so it doesn't make early runs too easy. That way, players can choose to take risks, chase loot, and create their own little side adventures, without punishing the entire team if something goes wrong. Before we wrap up, there's two more things we need to talk about, and that's stealth, or rather, the lack of it. In the earlier versions of the game, crouching, staying still, and avoiding eye contact used to work. You could sneak by a threat, reset, maybe escape. But now in the beta, monsters seem to have super senses. Even while crouched, silent, and facing away, they'll sometimes beeline straight to you like you had a neon sign over your head. My guess? Maybe the devs are experimenting with a stealth upgrade system that hasn't been implemented yet. If that's the case, awesome. Can't wait to see it. But in the meantime, stealth just doesn't feel reliable. And with how fast monsters are compared to players, especially when you're crouching, getting spotted can feel like an instant death sentence. Not a skill issue, but a balance issue. And speaking of balance, the monster respawns in beta. Right now feel insane. You clear a wave of gnomes or bangers, turn around, and they're back already. Or you might be seeing 3 of same big monsters patrolling and blocking you onto a narrow path of inevitable doom. Maybe this is intentional. Maybe the devs are testing the promised Bloodmoon phase, where the difficulty spikes and monsters flood in nonstop. And if that's the case, cool idea. But right now, It's not fun, it's overwhelming, especially when you're trying to recover after a team wipe or navigate with low health and limited tools. These are small changes, but they'd go a long way in making Repo's co op experience more fair, more replayable, and just more fun. If you're playing the beta, drop your thoughts in the comments below. What QoL changes would you love to see? That's it from me. Smash that like button if you agree, and I'll see you in the next extraction, hopefully with more than 1 HP.